We are just about ready to get started for this Team California, Team Texas game. These teams are going to be competing for 5th and 6th place overall in this tournament. We have on Team California number 1, Diamond, number 10, Bubbles, number 1011, Rogue Rammer, number 1184, Rocks and Socks, number 125, Adri, number 12, Donna Diggler, number 17, Rhodes Warrior, number 138, Patty Hurst, number 143, Pinball, number 21, Gnarly Nay, number 215, Boo Gogi, number 36, Slamla Anderson, number 4, Malaboomer, number 451, Shock in Auburn, there's a whole bunch here, I don't know what number, but Hardcore, number 57, Taratot, number 70, Freddie Herfury, number 82, Myth America, number 88, Bell Ringer, and number 92, Alley Cat. They are coached by Soul, Josh, and M. For Texas, we have number 07, Jackie Daniels, number 112, Planet of the Skates, number 113, Velocity Raptor, number 12, Freddie, number 1229, Juicebox, number 127, Violent Viking, number 235, Guillotine Grace, number 247, Mandatory Ass Kickin', number 28, Buzz Killer, number 3, Pandemonium Doll, number 3037, Ukulele, number 323, SoCal Menace, number 333, Roxy Redding, number 401, Ramsey. There's a whole bunch in this number, but it's a Scully Vera, number 826, Metallica Breath, number 88, Eliminator, number 89, Arrakis, number 9512, Crushing Curves, and number 999, Nancy. They are coached by Quadzilla. Our teams are out there on the track and ready to go. The time to derby clock has run out, so all we are waiting for is the whistle. It has been an exciting day here at the Lansing Center. We've got all these final games being played, so if there's a ton of noise behind me, it's because there's a lot of exciting games going on all at once, but we are doing our best. I also know that the audio has been a little bit touchy here and there. I promise we are doing our best to fix that and keep it up as much as possible, but it's some things are beyond our control, so I do promise we are doing our best to keep that high quality. So
I want to thank our medics over there in the red shirts. Love our medics. We get to watch a rolling every game and not have to do nothing. I want to thank our stream team and all 19 volunteers. I want to thank the actors too. Yes, all my co-announcers. We got What You Say Jay on the stream.
I guess, yeah, I should go ahead and introduce myself. I am What You Say Jay. I am the voice of California for this tournament, but we have one streaming announcer, so I am also the voice of Texas today, so try to stay objective. And that's the whistle. We are off to the races. That is Bubbles on the jam line for California and Arrakis jamming for Texas. And we are off.
First up, we got Bubbles going up against Arrakis.
Arrakis is breaking out and picking up first lead of this game. But Bubbles is also out of the pack and just 5-10 feet behind there, gaining on Arrakis. And, hitting that apex jump and landing it beautifully, picking up those 4 points handily. One of those interesting moments where the lead jammer is not actually out in front of the non-lead jammer. Bubbles picking up another 4. Arrakis now in the pack and calls it off. 8 points apiece for both teams on this first jam.
skaters are ready to go. Now, Boomer wearing the star for Team California. I think that's Ramsey wearing the star for Team Texas.
All right, we've got Boomer on the jam line for Team California and Ramsey jamming for Texas. I take it back. It looks like Texas actually picked up 12 on that first jam.
Love my Texas sisters.
It is a fracas over there, but Boomer is up at the front, pushing up against that Texas defense. Meanwhile, Ramsey is in the back in a very similar situation. Texas's pivot is being forced to bridge, leaving just 2 defenders here to hold Boomer, and Boomer is going to use that opportunity and pull ahead and pick up lead for California. But Ramsey is now also out of the pack. Boomer picks up a nice neat 4 and then goes ahead and calls it off. Oh, that was a star pass. I totally did not see that. But 4 points for California, tying up the score 12-12. We've got Taratot on the jam line for California.
Going into jam number 3, we got Taratot, right beside California. Going up against Velocity Raptor, it looks like to me.
The Texas Jammer, breaking out, picking up lead. That is Ukulele jamming for Texas and picking up lead. Meanwhile, Taratot is in the front and now also out of the pack as Ukulele's back in the pack on their initial scoring pass, looking to pick up some points here. Coming up against a tough defense, though. And manages to scoot by on the outside. Taratot now also on their initial scoring pass. Picking up at least a couple thus far, I believe. As Ukulele is now back again, picking up points on their second scoring pass. Taratot still having a tough time breaking past that Texas defense. That's Bulgogi coming to the back to play a little bit of offense and try and clear the way for Taratot. As Ukulele's coming back around for another scoring pass, and Taratot is out. Or that was Ukulele is out of the pack. California was wearing their white jerseys last night, and so that's what's throwing me off. It'll just take me a second to adjust. We had a star pass on California to Diamond. And Diamond is now back in the pack, picking up points as Ukulele's coming around. Just less than 10 seconds left in this jam. And that's the jam. Texas picking up 17 points on that jam. California picking up 7, bringing the score to 29-19.
Hardcore, the jammer record for Team California.
That is Hardcore on the jam line for California and Velocity Raptor jamming for Texas. Hardcore managing to stay in, maintain verticality on the outside line there and pick up lead for California. Velocity Raptor now also out of the pack, about a half lap behind, as Hardcore reapproaches to start picking up some points here. And, gets called out on a penalty, which means it is going to be a power jam. I'm sorry, I thought that Hardcore had picked up lead, but Velocity Raptor actually had picked up lead. So it is a power jam for Velocity Raptor. California is going to be really looking to shut down this power jam as much as possible in order to keep this point spread manageable. See California lined up, or Texas lined up to play some offense there. And to great effect, just absolutely sweeping California to the side. And Velocity Raptors coming back around for a third scoring pass. Meanwhile, Hardcore is standing, getting ready to get back on the track and end this power jam. Velocity Raptor up against Myth America and Gnarly Nay in the front here. Not an enviable position to be in as a jammer, but Gnarly Nay is going to get sent to the penalty box, which allows Velocity Raptor to scoot on through. Hardcore is back on the track and, but having a tough time with that Texas defense in the back. That was mandatory ass kicking with that hit to the outside line. And Velocity Raptor manages to pick up some extra points and then call it off. It was another double-digit jam for Texas. That was 16 points for Velocity Raptor. Bringing the score to 45-19, still with 22 and a half minutes left in this first half. All the time in the world. That's Bubbles on the jam line for California. And Buzz Killer jamming for Texas. Buzz Killer taking a tumble on the outside line as Bubbles scoots through, picks up lead for California. Looks like actually Buzz Killer headed to the penalty box, which means that it is a power jam now for Bubbles. And they look like they intend to make the most of it, already picking up 4 points and headed back around for a second scoring pass, still with 1:20 left in this jam. Plenty of time. There we go, with a little bit of a leap over a down skater and picks up 8 neatly. Buzzkiller now getting back on the track. And Buzzkiller breaking out. And Bubbles calls it off before Buzzkiller can re-approach the pack. 12 points for California on that jam, bringing California back within one jam striking distance of Texas. The score is 45-31, just a 14-point spread. That is Boomer on the jam line for California. Boomer gets low on the inside, but doesn't make it through. Gets recycled to the back. Texas jammer is up in the front. Ooh, Boomer now coming around the outside line and gracefully picking up lead. Texas is still having a tough time getting past that California defense and pops the star off. That's Arrakis jamming for Texas. Getting recycled all the way to the back by Rogue Grammar as Boomer picks up her first 4 points for this jam. Boomer juking around that last Texas blocker. Meanwhile, Arrakis has now managed to break out of the pack. Boomer looking like she's getting ready to call this off as soon as she picks up a couple of these points. And indeed, that is exactly what she does. Picking up an extra 2 points at the end there, bringing the score to 45-41 with 10 points for Boomer. And really narrowing this score to just one completed pass worth of points. That is Taratot jamming for California. And Ramsey jamming for Texas. Taratot getting recycled on the inside as Ramsey is picking up 4 points right away. Ramsey's got some strength there, just pushing right through that California defense. Coming back around for their second scoring pass, and again, getting right through that pack with barely any time elapsed. It looks like we've had a star pass on California to Shock and Auburn. And Shock and Auburn breaks out. Ramsey is hot on their heels and calls it off before Shock can make it back to the pack. 12 points on that last jam for Texas. No, I was kidding.
Yeah, no, I watched that game twice. They picked me up last night.
Bringing the score to 57-41. Texas really widening that gap once again. All right, we got hardcore on the jam line for California. Hardcore up in the front, pushing against this Texas blocker line. I believe that's ukulele jamming for Texas.
That's ukulele.
And hardcore breaks out, picks up lead for California. Coming around for their initial scoring pass, as we've got a star pass on Texas to Pandemonium Doll. Hardcore calls it off. Picks up 3 points for California. California starting this next jam with 1 blocker in the box, so a small pack advantage for Texas. That is Bubbles on the jam line for California and Velocity Raptor jamming for Texas. Bubbles breaks out immediately, but Velocity Raptor also just about a half track behind. Bubbles lands the apex jump and calls it right off. So nice and neat. Bubbles is if that sentence incorrect. Bubbles is an incredibly efficient jammer. They are always, their track awareness is on point, and they not only are incredibly effective at picking up points of their own, but they also are very good at keeping track of what the other jammer's doing and not allowing very many points, which is often just as important. That is Boomer on the jam line for California. And Buzzkiller jamming for Texas. Buzzkiller breaks out and picks up lead for Texas. Boomer now also looking to break through, but coming up against a tough Texas tripod up here. Ooh, now does manage to break out. Buzzkiller is just really trying to scramble through this pack. Does ultimately manage to do so and pick up 4 and then call it right off. That brings the score to 61-48 with 14 minutes left in this first half. California calling a team timeout. This team timeout brought to you by 888-187 Killer Pads. a pretty even exchange of leads here, back and forth between Texas. No one is running away with the leads by any stretch. Texas has just had, when Texas has gotten the lead, they've had a couple of higher scoring jams when they do. So that's really what has contributed to this point spread. But again, this point spread really not all that substantial considering how much time we have left in the game. So it is still very much anyone's game.
This team timeout.
13 points separating these two teams. And that's the end of that timeout as we get back on the track.
Next is going to start the time in about 5 seconds.
Bubbles and Arrakis on the jam line. This is a scrappy pack here. And Arrakis had almost managed to break out, and then Bubbles just absolutely sneaked by on the inside line there and picked up lead for California. Arrakis now also out of the pack. Getting pushed inside, but managing to stay upright and calling it off before Arrakis can reach the pack. Like I said, Bubbles is always on top of exactly where that other jammer is and making sure to call it up before they get to the pack. Well, if it isn't Rogue Rammer on the jam line for California. And if the pattern holds, that should be Ramsey on the jam line for California. But we will see. Rogue breaking out of the pack right away and picking up lead for California. Indeed, that is Ramsey jamming for Texas. California had been running a 4-jammer rotation, but adding Rogue back into the mix. California has been running a five jammer rotation for most of this weekend, but for these first this first set of jams had been running a 4-jammer rotation. If they continue to add Rogue into the mix, they will also be on a 5-jammer rotation, as is Texas.
Yes. 204 games. We're counting. 2
points for Rogue on that last jam.
We are underway, jam number 13. Now we bring the Learner Software Team, California going up against
That is Boomer and Ukulele on the jam line
Take it away, brother.
as we head into jam 13. Boomer in the back trying to hop, skip, and jump around this Texas line as Ukulele gets recycled all the way to the back of the pack by Bugogi. Boomer almost breaking free, but getting pushed out on the inside at the last second, but managing to shut that recycle down early and keep from having to go too terribly far back. Boomer again trying to break through on the inside. I believe it looks like, you have to understand, the refs are all exactly where I need them not to be. Looks like, okay, Ukulele did break through and pick up lead for California. But Boomer is now also out of the pack with a minute left in this jam.
Valley Boomer trying to catch. Ukulele hits the back of the pack.
Both now picking up points, and Boomer actually manages to pull out ahead, despite not being the actual lead, is physically a lap ahead now of Ukulele. Puts Ukulele in sort of a tough position where they can call it off, but you don't necessarily want to call it off before you have the opportunity to tie it back up. Ukulele does ultimately, actually, I'm not sure, that may have been just that the jam timed out, but 6 points on that last one for Boomer, bringing the score to 65-59. Oh, I take it back. 4 points for Texas as well on that, so bringing the score to, oh no, yes, so 65-59. All right, that's Taratot jamming for California and Velocity Raptor jamming for Texas. With 10 minutes left in this first half, Velocity Raptor breaking out right away, picking up lead for Texas. Meanwhile, we had an early star pass to Rhodes Warrior on California. Rhodes Warrior back in the pack as Velocity Raptor has picked up their first 4. Bulgogi now getting back on the track just ahead of Velocity Raptor. And trying for a little bump out. Velocity Raptor back up quickly on their skates and headed through the inside line. Rhodes Warrior now also through and hot on Velocity Raptor's heels. Ooh, both of these jammers were almost neck and neck, but Velocity Raptor stayed in, Rhodes Warrior did not. $12 points for Texas, 4 points for California on that last jam. All right, that is Hardcore on the jam line for California, and I believe Buzz Killer on the jam line for Texas. Gnarly Nay coming up to the front to try to play a little bit of offense to allow Hardcore to break out. We had and Hardcore is headed to the penalty box on, I didn't see what the call was, but headed to the penalty box regardless. On Texas, we have had a star pass that is Pandemonium Doll now with a star for Texas.
Taking a break from that defense and here the start.
California's going to run the pack, play a little bit of a keep away here. Got an attempted shirt whip that did not quite make it. Something fell off of something. I just saw someone absolutely chuck something off of the track. Hardcore now back on the track and in the pack. Now both of these jammers struggling against very similar defenses. Hardcore does manage to get through, and it does look like we have no lead on this, so we're going to go the full 2. 15 seconds left of that. Pandemonium Doll getting recycled to the back by Rogue as Hardcore reapproaches the pack, breaks through. Ooh, managing to stay in. Oh, maybe perhaps not. Recycled. Let's see. 7 points for California, 4 points for Texas.
Texas is going to pick up 4. It's 70 to 81.
Bringing the score to 81-70. This is a very close game thus far. Bubbles and Arrakis on the jam line with just under 6 minutes left in this first half. Arrakis muscling through on the inside line, picking up lead. Bubbles now also out of the pack, just 5-10 feet behind. We'll see whether Arrakis is gonna pull a Bubbles and try to pick up some points and then call it right off. Arrakis going for the straightaway jump and landing it, but not in bounds, so getting recycled to the back. Everybody taking a tumble, actually. Let the bodies hit the floor. Arrakis now up, California reforming in the back to hold Arrakis, which thus far has seemed like a very difficult thing to do. Iraq has been very good at muscling through some solid walls. Bubbles now also out of the pack, and Arrakis calls it off. Four points each on that last jam. So advances the score, but does not do anything to the point spread. That is Boomer on the jam line for California. And I believe Ramsey. Yes, and Ramsey jamming for Texas. Ramsey, just absolutely muscling past Myth America to pick up lead. Boomer now also out of the pack. Oh, but Ramsey is headed to the penalty box, which means it is going to be a 2-minute jam and a power jam for Boomer in California. Boomer picks up her first 4 points. Doing a lot of lateral movement here, just looking for a little bit of daylight. As looks like California's got a goat in the back here. Gonna try to force California to let Boomer go, and indeed that is exactly what happens. Oh, I take it back, Boomer is the lead. So Boomer does have the ability to call this off. We have a star pass on Texas to Juicebox right before Boomer calls it off. 12 points on that last jam for Boomer, which means, folks, we have a lead change. Brings the score to 86-85 California. If you are drinking something, take a sip. And we've got a timeout, Texas. That makes sense. You're definitely going to want to break that momentum coming off of that jam, that 12-point jam for Boomer. This pause in the action brought to you by 888-187 Killer Pads. We also want to thank the Lansing Sports Center for hosting us this weekend, for supporting Skate Wars, for keeping the lights on, etc. We do appreciate it. All right, we are back from that team timeout. That is Taratot on the jam line for California. And if the pattern holds, that should be ukulele out there. Oh, no, looks like that might be Arrakis. Taratot recycled to the back as, yeah, that is Arrakis jamming for Texas. But Taratot breaks out and picks up lead for California. We have a star pass on Texas to Pandemonium Doll. But, immediately after that star pass, Pandemonium Doll gets called out on a penalty, which means it is a power jam for Taratot and Team California. Team California holding the pack here, going to try to force Texas to let Taratat go. And Taratat breaks through and then calls it off. 8 points for California with 1 minute left on the clock in this first half. That is the Rogue Rammer on the jam line for California. And Pandemonium Doll, so this is going to be a power start for Rogue as Pandemonium Doll is iced into the box. Rogue is just looking for a little bit of daylight here. We got a directional penalty. Oh, yeah, and actually Pandemonium Doll is going to get back on the track before Rogue has the opportunity to establish lead. Ooh, but Pandemonium Doll gets sent back to the box. Another power jam for California, and Rogue breaks out of the pack. Now reapproaching for her initial scoring pass, already picking up a couple points. But that Texas wall reforming right in front of her. Going to get some assistance here from Rox and the rest of the crew on offense as California gets their last blocker back on the track. Pandemonium Doll is standing. That Texas pivot recycling Rogue all the way to the back of the pack as Pandemonium Doll gets back on the track. Rogue recycled again. Trying to apex hop around that tripod and getting bumped out midair. Meanwhile, Pandemonium Doll is struggling equally to make it past that California defense in the front. And California is forced to let Pandemonium Doll go. 25 seconds left in this jam. As Rogue does manage to break on through and pick up 4 points. Pandemonium Doll now also past the pack as Rogue reapproaches. Try to pick up some last points at the very end. And that is the half. 6 points for California on that last one. Pushing California up into that 3-digit mark. Once again, take a sip of whatever you're drinking. Bringing the score to 188 as we head into this half. We're going to have a 10-minute break, so go ahead, get up, stretch your legs, grab a snack, and we will see you back here in 10. All right, we are getting back on the track. We still got 1 minute left in the half, but these both these teams seem to be chomping at the bit to get back in it. That is Bubbles on the jam line for California.
Thank you, medics.
And
Love you.
And there's a ref in between me and where I could tell you who the Texas jammer is. So it's going to take a second. We're headed into the second half. The score is 100-88 California. Just a 12-point spread. And, you know, you have to assume that anybody who's tuning in at this stage in a tournament knows how Derby works, but just in case. Derby is a high-scoring game, so 12 points with a full half left is still very much anybody's game, and we often see teams come back from the half with a burst of energy. So truly, there are no foregone conclusions in terms of how this is going to pan out for either of these teams. In these first few jams of the second half, it will be interesting to see how these teams choose to adjust and move forward. That's Velocity Raptor jamming for Texas, breaking out right away, less than 5-6 seconds. But Bubbles is now also out of the pack as Velocity Raptor is approaching. Ooh. And bursts on through. Bubbles now also approaching the pack to start scoring points. But that Texas defense does not want to give up any ground. Velocity Raptor now also in the pack on their second scoring pass. And Bubbles now picking up an initial 4. California losing their pivot and an extra blocker to the box. And Velocity Raptor calls off the jam. 8 points for Texas, 4 points for California. And looks like we have an official review being, an official timeout? I'm waiting for the hand signal. It is an official review being requested by California. We're not super sure what this official review is regarding, but we will hopefully get some information from the refs once they have deliberated a bit. Again, each of these teams gets one official review per half, where they are able to challenge a call or to say that they think there should have been a call when there was none, and then they send their rules lawyers out to the infield to go have a chat with the refs. The refs deliberate, and then if they win the official review, they get to retain it. If they lose it, they lose it for the rest of the half. All right, we just got some information on that official review. So California was requesting a back block on the Texas jammer, back block penalty on the Texas jammer at the beginning over by turn 1, and they are going to they're going to retain their official review. So the no call is overturned. The Texas jammer is now in the box, and California is going to be getting a power start for this next jam. That is Boomer taking this power jam. California is down, I believe, 1 blocker. So a little bit of a pack, 2 blockers. So a pack advantage, a 4-2 pack advantage for Texas in order to try to shut down this power jam. But Boomer is juking around, finding an opening, but then Texas reformed nice and quick right in front of her. They are really giving it to her here. They do not want to give up an inch of ground. But Boomer does break through and pick up lead just as Velocity Raptor gets back on the track. Velocity Raptor now looking to break through as Boomer slides through without slowing down. Just absolutely exploits that outside lane and picks up 4 points. Velociraptor still looking to break out as Boomer is now on her second scoring pass. Both jammers now a little bit stuck in the pack on turn 4 rather. California losing. I think that's Freddie Herfury headed to the box there. And we have a start pass on Texas to the pivot. That is Violent Viking now, the jammer of record for Texas. And I believe Boomer called it off. Yeah, Boomer called it off before Violent Viking could make any points. Seven points for California on that last jam, bringing the score to 111-96 California. 27 minutes left in this second half. That is Buzzkiller on the jam line for Texas and Bubbles jamming for California. The cork is popped and the bubbles are flowing. Bubbles picking up lead for California right away, but Buzzkiller is hot on their heels. Bubbles now in the pack. Ooh, Buzzkiller slicing by and actually getting ahead of Bubbles. But Bubbles now also, both of them picking up 4 on that initial. Ooh, Bubbles going for the apex jump and not landing it. Buzzkiller sliding through. Bubbles recycling back to give it another go. No pack is called as Buzzkiller comes back around for another scoring pass. Coming up against Freddie Herfury and Rocks in the front there. And they're going to be forced to let Buzzkiller through as they are pushed out of play. That was a super solid jam for Texas there. Texas did not have the lead and still managed to make 12 points. However, California also picked up 8, so just a 4-point indent on that points margin, bringing the score to 119-108. It is an official timeout. Brought to you, as always, by 888-187 Killer Pads. Triple 187 Killer Pads actually also providing the MVP awards for all of our games today. The MVP awards initially were a gift card to one of the local skate shops around here. Then at one point they were bearings yesterday, and now today they are a full set of pads, which I've handed out a couple of MVPs, and I can tell you the skaters seem thrilled. I handed a set of bearings to someone, and they gasped and said, "I needed these so badly." So I'm not a skater, so I have to just take their word that that they are as thrilled as they seem to be. But we do appreciate all of our sponsors, both for the tournament and for providing those MVP awards. That's Hardcore and Ukulele on the jam line. Ukulele breaking out, picking up lead. Hardcore not far behind. Ukulele scooting around Bugogi, whipping around the outside, picking up. We'll see. We'll see just how many. Looks like 3 points for Texas, 2 points for California. That is Teratot on the jam line for California and Arrakis jamming for Texas. Arrakis is a hell of a jammer, man. Just so strong, so just bulldozes through those defensive lines, picking up lead for Texas, and now already picking up that initial 4 points. Teratot still looking to break out of the pack, getting a little bit of an assist from Rogue and Rocks, and Arrakis picks up another 4 almost effortlessly. Teratot did manage to break out of the pack there. That brings Texas up to 119 within 2 points of California's 121, as both skaters are now back in the pack. Teratot stuck behind a solid Texas wall. Arrakis breaking through and picking up another 4 for a lead change. Take a sip of whatever you're drinking.
Looks like we're going to have a lead change to the right up here.
And Arrakis scoots by on the inside for another 4 points. 16 points has thus far been the highest scoring jam, or no, I take it back, we did have a 17-point jam at one point. But still, there's a, yeah, with another 4 points, this is now a 20-point jam, and the highest scoring jam of this game thus far.
Where's our jar of jelly to give out? Because Arrakis is going to get it. Because that'll be in my house.
That's 24 points for Arrakis with 15 seconds left on the clock. We'll see if they are able to push it even further.
10 seconds left.
And they are. That's 28 points on the board for Texas. Solidly changing the momentum of this game and putting Texas, if not permanently, certainly comfortably in the lead at 139 to California's 125.
California does pick up 4. 125 to 139. 22 minutes left to go in the contest.
That is Boomer jamming for California. And with the apex jump breaking out immediately, I'll tell you what, if you're California and you have a jam like you just had against Arrakis, you put Boomer out on the track. Boomer coming around for that initial scoring pass, doing sort of a make yourself big like a bear move. And picking out that 4, nice and neat, calling it off. A hit and quit.
10 points separate these two teams with 21-25 to go in the contest.
10 points now separating these two teams. Score is 139-129 Texas. Bubbles on the track for jamming for California. Ooh, Velocity Raptor jamming for Texas. Bubbles did break out ahead, but we've got a jammer race on our hands, folks. And Bubbles going to go ahead and call it off. Not going to risk it. Again, like I said, Bubbles is an incredibly shrewd jammer when it comes to jammer strategy.
That's super cool. Might as well stay out there. It wasn't long enough to be.
That is Bubbles and Buzzkiller on the jam line, as Buzzkiller breaks out, picks up lead for Texas. Bubbles getting recycled to the back by that Texas pivot. That was a long recycle.
Force the Bubbles go all the way to turn 3.5. Or the other Apex has something they like to say.
It's just the pack is it's a fracas over there as Buzzkiller takes a tumble over the top of Bugogi.
No pack is called. But Buzzkiller goes ahead, calls it off.
Bubbles did get sent to the penalty box, so that actually was a power jam, and this next jam will be a power start for Texas. Three points on that last jam for Texas. That is Ukulele picking up this power start for Texas. As Bubbles is standing, getting ready to get back on the track. Ukulele is going to be looking to establish lead before Bubbles can get back on. Coming up against Freddie Herfury and Myth America in the front. Myth America allowing Bubbles to pick up lead. Just super, super solid work by the California defense there. Or offense. Or both, I suppose. Looks like both teams picked up 2 points on that last jam. That is Hardcore jamming for California and Arrakis jamming for Texas. Arrakis, you'll recall, is the jammer that was responsible for that devastating 28-point jam a couple of jams ago. So California is going to be really looking to shut them down here. Arrakis getting recycled all the way to the back. Hardcore struggling up against the Texas wall in the front. Arrakis getting recycled again and sent to the back. This pack is not moving very far off of the jam line. Both of these defenses do not want to give up any ground here. Texas losing one of their blockers to the box. We'll see if that's enough to allow Hardcore through. They're getting pushed dangerously close to being out of play and forced to allow Hardcore through, letting California pick up lead. We have a star pass on Texas to Jukebox. As Hardcore is coming back around. Ooh, getting just bumped out of the sky by Adri there. One point for California. Which, you know what? Every little point counts, so. Especially when the score is this close. We've seen quite a bit of an energy change here. It's interesting. California has been picking up most of the leads in this second half, but the fewer jams that Texas has gotten lead, they have done a lot more with. So that 128-point jam really put them ahead and put California in a position to be sort of on an uphill climb back, but they have done that and brought the score back to within 12 points. We are on a team timeout for California with just under 16 points left in this game. Still, again, I know I start to sound like a broken record after all, but it truly is still anybody's game. And we are getting back on the track.
Shout out to Murder and Murder's daughter. Yeah, maybe it was loud enough to be picked up on the stream. I don't know. What you say, Jay, might help me out. Interacting on the Twitch with the fans, I assume. California was
That is Ramsey and Boomer on the jam line. No, I'm interacting with my dad via text, explaining why the names are turning red on the stream. But that is Boomer picking up lead for. Oh nope, Boomer getting sent to the box on a penalty, which means it is a power jam for Ramsey for Texas. And Ramsey does break through. It looks like we do not have a lead jammer this jam, so we're going to go the full 2 minutes. As Ramsey reapproaches, the pack is booking it as Boomer gets back on the track and races through and comes back around for a scoring pass. Ooh, as Ramsey gets sent to the penalty. Nope, I'm sorry, that was a recycle. The thing is, when you get recycled over by the penalty box, it's hard to tell whether you're headed to the back of the pack or to the penalty box. But that was just a recycle for Ramsey. Boomer on her initial scoring pass, Ramsey on their second scoring pass. Ramsey getting held up by Rocks and Bugogi over there, and Pinball. Both of these defensive lines really holding the pack in place at turn 1 here with just less than 10 seconds left in the jam. And the jam times out. Looks like 7 points for Texas, 3 points for California.
I see Peace War in the house. Peace War's got some Peace War merchandise. If you want to get you some, just see Peace War. 135, 150.
All right, it is an official timeout. This official timeout brought to you by 888-187 Killer Pads. I also want to go ahead and take this time to go ahead and actually thank our officials. We have our head refs, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom, Dr. Math, Adam Smasher, Epic Phil, Warfy, Stray Taco, and Yogi. Our head non-skating officials are Eggs, Chemical Restraint, Turn 2, Galvatron, Kelsey Grammer, and Just Eric. And our assistant head refs are Dorothy Galeforce, Wicked Widget, Wanda Goff, Bionic, Kilt Trip, Sofa Kingdom, and You Know. We so appreciate their help because it takes a lot of refs to put on this game. All right, we're back at it. That's Bubbles and Ramsey on the jam line. Bubbles immediately breaking out and picking up lead for California. The pack is booking it around this track. And Bubbles breaks through, picks up an initial 4 points for California. That's because Ramsey was in the box, but didn't have the star on their head, which fooled me. So I apologize for that. That was a power jam for Bubbles. But Ramsey is now back on the track, star in hand, as Bubbles is coming around for their third scoring pass. And breaks through, bringing this jam score to 12, and bringing California within 4 points of Texas's 151. Bubbles now going for that fourth pass, but getting bumped out on the outside and recycled to the back. Ramsey still pretty solidly held, and we have a star pass for Texas to, to Nancy. And Bubbles calls it off before Nancy can reach the pack. But that was, what a jam for Bubbles and for California. Picked up 3 extra points on that last one, bringing the score to 151-150. Just a 1 point separation between these two teams. What a jam. All right, that's Taratot on the jam line for California. and Velocity Raptor jamming for Texas. Teratot breaks out, picks up lead for California. Going to be looking to even 1 point will tie the score, and 2 will put us at another lead change. So we'll see what happens here. California has Velocity Raptor held comfortably. That tripod of Freddie Herfury, Rogue Rammer, and Adri, I think. I'm like 90% sure. Yes, and Adri. But Velociraptor did break out and pick up lead? Question mark. That seems odd to me, but okay. Velociraptor coming back around to pick up some points there. Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, the refs are, I wasn't sure if it was a scoreboard issue, but no, Velociraptor is the lead, so I was wrong on that. It's been known to happen a time or two, not often, but. And Velociraptor picks up another 4 as Rogue gets back on the track, gesturing for a star pass. In order to try to shut down this streak that Texas is on. Just 15 seconds left though, so. And Texas calls it. 12 points for Texas. This is a close game, folks. We're trading lead changes and bringing the score within striking distance and then back out of striking distance. It's just been all over the place in the best way. All right, that is Hardcore jamming for California. And Buzzkill jamming for Texas, breaking out right away, picking up lead. Hardcore recycling to the back. And almost out, up against that last Texas Ed, breaks out. There we go. Now going to be coming back around. Buzzkiller looking to pick up points on this initial pass, and California does not want to let them do that. Goes ahead and calls it off before Hardcore can reach the pack. No points on that jam for anybody. A pointless jam, as it were. Pointless, but not without purpose. We have a timeout being called by California. This timeout brought to you by 888-187 Killer Pads. We also want to go ahead and thank our medics, as you must assume there are a fair amount of injuries in a game as physical as this, and when you've got 3 tracks going at once, we're playing over 40 games in 3 days. You pick up some injuries, so we want to say thank you to Jolt, Trauma Queen, Flame, Beta Blocker, Mangler, Dom Sawyer, Stitch, Shauna, Chaos, Wolfstone Crash, Jugs Bunny, Class Warfaren, Shulk, Witch Slap, and the Mind Killer, doing the hard work here, and both keeping the players safe and keeping my blood pressure down, because it's stressful watching players go down, and it's always nice to see the medics are always on it right away. So. That is Boomer on the jam line for California as we're getting ready to get back in it. Oh, actually, it looks like this transitioned into an official review that was requested by California, or at least that's what the scoreboard says. But I didn't see an official review happen, so you never know. All right, that's Mallet Boomer and Buzz Killer. Ooh, Boomer with the apex drop Listen, you don't have to stay upright, you just have to stay in bounds. It doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be legal, and that is exactly what that was, because it allowed Boomer to pick up lead and come back around and already be scoring points just 15 seconds into this jam, which is exactly what California needs. And there it is, that's that first four. Buzzkiller being held nicely by that California defense. Oh, I take it back. Buzzkiller did break out. Now back on their initial scoring pass. Boomer on her second, picking up another four. Buzzkiller having a tough time up against Freddie Herfury. And as Boomer comes back around, Buzzkiller picking up four. Boomer picking up four. And calling it off. 12 points for California, bringing the score to just 2 points, separating 167 to 165 Texas with over 7 minutes left in the game. Oop, looks like we got a timeout being called by Texas. This timeout, I know this will come as a shock, is brought to you by 888-187 Killer Pads. We also want to go ahead and thank our Happy Coffee Penalty Box sponsor. Happy Coffee is expertly blended and slow roasted for more complex notes, char-free taste, and ultimate smoothness. Now that's Happy. I don't mind disclosing to you that I had Happy Coffee this morning, and it was good. It did make me happy, so no complaints here.
Hey, if you need to get your llama across the country, call Transportation by Tanisha. Tanisha will get your llama to
That looks like Arrakis lined up on the jam line.
transferred to Tanisha.
The scoreboard says ukulele, but I am fairly sure that is Arrakis. And Bubbles on the jam line for California as we get back in it. 7 minutes left in this game.
Going into jam 16.
And we're off. Just 2 points separating these two teams. Bubbles up in the front, pushing against this very last blocker to establish lead for California as...
Bubbles out.
Listen, I'm pretty sure that's Arrakis. Yeah, that's Arrakis for sure. Arrakis now also out of the pack as Bubbles picks up 4 points for, you guessed it, another lead change, bringing the score to 169-167 Texas. Folks, you know what you gotta do. You gotta take a sip of that drink. It's in the rules. I don't know what to tell you. I don't make them, I just call them. That is the Rogue-Rammer on the jam line for California. Oh no, I'm sorry, I saw Rogue-Rammer, but that's, Rogue is a pivot. That's Hardcore on the jam line for California. And Ukulele, I believe, on the jam line for Texas. Perhaps not, hold on a sec. The pack is a tangle over there, so sometimes it takes a minute to establish who it is. Yeah, that's Velocity Raptor out there jamming for Texas, actually. But Hardcore pulls out and picks up lead for Texas. Ooh, Velocity Raptor getting a whip from Jackie Daniels in the front. And Hardcore picks up takes that initial scoring pass without even slowing down, picking up another 4 for California and calling it off nice and neat. I'd say when the score is this close and you're in the lead, you want to see those hit and quit, those nice tight, pick up the 4 points and call it right off. Don't take any chances. We've got an official review being requested by Texas.
We're also going to give away a certified sweat saver triple A.
We will hopefully find out some information about what that is about, ideally. And if not, we will speculate wildly.
And you know how collectibles are about taking them out of the box. Also want to give a shout out to Mo Cheesemo and my favorite senator from Ohio, Kent, the politician. Yeah, they're not listening. They're talking politics.
Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to say it. This official review brought to you by, and this is going to be a stunner, 187 triple 187 killer pads.
Pause in the action and the pause.
Yes, the pause in the action. Yeah, the pause in the action and the pause in my sentence. I've got Johnny Pepper over here, our in-house announcer, heckling me from the announcer box.
I like hanging out with you at Ringers.
Yeah, coming down to Ringers Roller Rink in San Diego. We have the only year-round outdoor bank track in the country. All right, looks like we're going to get some information about what this official review is. All right, so Texas was requesting a multiplayer block penalty on the jammer in turn one. The no call will stand, and Texas will lose their official review for the remainder of the game. That is Boomer on the jam line for California, and I believe that is Ukulele jamming for Texas now. And Ukulele breaks out. Yes, that is Ukulele. Breaks out, picks up lead for Texas. Boomer not far behind. Ooh, with the apex jump. Beautiful. Listen. You simply love to see it. Ukulele, though, also picking up 4 points of their own. Now both jammers on their second scoring passes. Getting the bench is getting animated over there. Both jammers getting held up on this second pass. Ukulele struggling up against a solid tripod up in the front here. Boomer up against a pretty similar situation, about 10 feet behind, with two of those players bridging the gap, keeping the pack together. Ukulele getting a little bit of an assist from I think that was, that was Planet of the Skates coming to play some offensive blocking. But both jammers actually managed to pick up 7 points. So both got the complete 4 on the first pass and then 3 on the second. So no change in the points gap, as Ken Jennings would say in Jeopardy, no harm, no foul. That is Bubbles and Arrakis. I would say I haven't done the actual math, but I would say our 2 most effective jammers thus far. Ooh, Bubbles breaks out, but it is a no pass, no penalty, is allowed to continue without having to get recycled. Picks up lead for California. Meanwhile, we have had a star pass to Nancy on Texas. They're going to be trying to force Bubbles to call this early and keep it from being a runaway jam, much like we saw earlier for Texas. An does work, but it does allow California to pick up 4 extra points.
That's Velocity Raptor wearing the star for Team Texas.
That is Boomer and Velocity Raptor on the jam line. Velocity Raptor quickly up in front. No pack is called. Both of the defenses locked down over there by the jam line. Boomer in the back. Velocity Raptor in the front. Velocity Raptor getting the assist from that Texas pivot, but that Texas pivot is now not able to help out, is forced to bridge the pack in order to keep the action going. And Boomer, manages to scoot around the outside, got knocked out, but able to step right back on the track behind the player that knocked her out and pick up lead for California with a minute left in this jam. Ooh, the game clock is weird. We have 30 seconds left in this game and a minute left in this jam with a score of 184 to 174. Boomer is going to be looking to keep this this jam alive just long enough to run down the game clock. Picking up more points right there. Four, 2, 1, and that is the game clock has run out. Just 20 seconds left in the jam. And that is the game. Our unofficial score is 188-176 California. And there's that rolling whistle, which means that is our final score. Oh, I'm sorry, our final score is 190-176 California. California taking home 5th place overall in this tournament. Texas taking home 6th place. An unbelievable game played by both of these teams. An amazing game played by both of these teams. Just never a runaway, never a foregone conclusion. Multiple lead changes throughout. 2 incredibly high-level and evenly matched teams. You love to see it. Our jammer of the game is Rakis from Texas, and our most valuable player is Freddie Herfury from California. Congratulations to all of the players, both teams.